I have no idea if he's going to have the full beard. Oh,
Ian,
a little bit of a beard.
what's up, my man?
How are you, bud?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I mean, obviously, this is completely uncharted territory for all of us. First and foremost, are you doing well? Is your family okay?
Yeah, everybody is good health-wise, thankfully. Obviously, crazy times for everybody, but definitely fortunate on my side of things that everything is going well.
Were you thinking about going like full Amish with the beard, or you're sticking with this kind of medium?
I guess the first couple of days of our self-isolation, I shaved. So this is what I've got after, I guess, like a week and a half, 2 weeks right now.
You're prolific in that department. Like this, for a lot of people, someone like me, I tried to grow a beard and it was not working. I had to get a Sharpie. I had to fill in. It wasn't working for me. You got this.
Yeah, this is just, I guess, the Harris gene pool. Something, facial hair. It goes all the way down from my grandparents.
Gift. It's a gift, my friend. Tell me, how are you staying fit? First and foremost for you, mentally, physically.
Yeah, obviously quite a change up. I know some guys probably, are able to get exercise in their apartment with, various sort of like functional exercises. We've been fortunate. The Nets have come around and brought bikes to each one of our apartments or townhouses where guys live. So we've been able to get some cardio in that way in the apartment, but then a lot of it is just sort of body weight, functional exercises. You have a couple of free weights here and there, and you just try to make the most of what you have.
How do you keep your shot intact? That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, no, I haven't been shooting a whole lot at all, but neither has a lot of guys in the NBA, unfortunately. I obviously have some basketballs around. I have enough space in my apartment where, I can tinker around with, some different basketball training apps like Home Court, do some different dribbling drills, and then, just a little like form shooting. I guess if you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix, hanging out, I can just kind of sit there, shoot it up kind of like you would back in the day when you're a kid, just sort of laying there thinking about different scenarios, shooting the ball in your hands.
Literally, like you'll just be on the couch and you'll just start going through your shooting form?
Yeah, I'll just sort of sit there, rep out a few one-handed shots, maybe do some left-handed. It's one of those things where you kind of just sitting there figuring out different ways to pass the time. Obviously we all, I'm no different than a lot of guys that play in the league. I love the game, and I'm just going to do different stuff with basketball just to pass time.
I feel like prior to last year's All-Star break, when the Nets were making a big push for you to be part of the shooting contest, three-point shootout, they did a promotional video to get the word out, and it was you around Brooklyn shooting in different spots.
Yeah.
This would become maybe a little more a reality of just.
Yeah, seriously though. Yeah, all the different stuff, shooting the eggs into the pan, shooting my laundry into the laundry basket. Unfortunately haven't been able to get outside in Brooklyn too much, but definitely the stuff inside.
You mentioned as a kid how you would go about your business and getting old school and getting into that mentality. The word is you shot 1,000 shots a day. Is that legitimate? And when did you start with that number?
I don't think that's legitimate. I mean, I took a lot of pride in getting up a number of shots. When I was growing up, I was lucky. My dad was a basketball coach, so I kind of was always following him around. I was always in the gym with him. But even on my own, I had a gym or a hoop out in the front yard. I would go out there before school. If I was waiting for my sisters to go to school, go out there, get shots up. Any chance I could really get to just shoot, play, I was, taking full advantage of it. And again, though, I was lucky. My dad was a coach, and I just kind of followed him around all over the place, and I was able to sort of, groove and get my shot the way that it is now, from the time I was a young kid.
You played for him in high school. What was that dynamic like? Because you hung around a lot as a young kid, and then now you're suiting up for him. how did that change the relationship? And when you look back on it now, how did that whole back and forth go between the two of you?
You know, it was definitely interesting. My dad is a pretty tough coach. You know, he's tough on me, tough on the other guys, but it's one of those things where that's just sort of the dynamic was when we were playing. But my dad always did a pretty good job whenever we went home. The father-son relationship was more important to him than, you know, player-coach, and we didn't really take a lot of stuff home. I mean, there's definitely a lot of instances on the court and then practices, stuff like that. But you know, he ultimately made me, you know, into the player that I am today, and I was lucky to play for such a good high school coach, regardless of him being my dad.
It's funny because the Nets, with Sean Marks as the GM, basketball operations, they are very much family first. So oftentimes on Nets trips, there'll be a lot of family members from different players. And your dad
Yep.
been on a bunch of trips, and he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. So it's hard for me to visualize him being a taskmaster.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just got that competitive, that old school competitiveness to him. You know, I think he obviously is able to kind of flip the switch, and you know, he's obviously a great guy off of the court. He's a great guy even when he's coaching, but he's just ultra competitor and expects a lot out of his players.
Who'd you root for as a kid? Were you an NBA fan growing up?
Oh yeah, no, I love the NBA growing up. Obviously, you know, I grew up in the Northwest, so the Sonics were right there in my backyard. That was the NBA team I paid the most attention to. But I was just a, you know, a fan of the NBA in general. You know, I look back, I guess probably my favorite player, Ray Allen, when he was playing for the Sonics. I followed him even when he went to Boston. I think that's sort of how the NBA kind of goes. You know, you follow a lot of players almost over the teams themselves.
And did you find yourself gravitating towards certain types of players, three-point shooters in particular, or that didn't come until later when you started to master that part of your?
I mean, when I was a kid, I was probably a bigger fan of like Sean Kemp, people like that, guys that were like tearing off the rim. But then, you know, as I kind of realized that I was not going to be able to play like that, I probably started following shooters a little bit more.
So it was the Rain Man.
The Rain Man. Oh, heck yeah. Him, Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf. I love those Sonics teams.
They're tremendous teams. You know, for you, we mentioned your dad. Your mom, Alice, was a good athlete. Your three sisters, Katie, Jason, Kenzie, all good athletes. So
Yep.
was it just a really competitive family? How did that all sort out through the years, you being the only boy?
Yeah, I mean, growing up with sisters, my sisters were all really into sports. You know, Katie played college basketball, JC played college volleyball, Mackenzie was a good athlete. I think it was just one of those things that everything that we did, and even now, everything was extremely competitive. You know, I go home, you know, I like to bake a little bit, and I remember this past summer, my sister and I, you know, getting into competition about who could make better banana bread, and that's just sort of kind of what we did growing up and what we even do now. It's just everybody's sort of competitive with one another all the time.
And who won that competition?
I mean, I would like to take the credit that I did. We did a blind taste test, but I think the vote was split. And then my mom decided that she wanted to come in, and she beat both of us. So
Yeah, I'm sensing some competitiveness in have you found yourself during this downtime like me going down a bunch of rabbit holes watching NBA highlights and just seeing where it takes you? Like, I'll just key in on a player, I'll watch 15 minutes, and then I'll bounce over. I'll go Sam Cassell to Robert Horry. I'll just zigzag the place.
Yeah, I find myself doing that even before these quarantine times, but you get lost in the rabbit hole, you know, especially if I'm on YouTube and I'm just like watching somebody's highlights, and you know, you just start clicking the stuff in the sidebar next to it, and you just get deeper and deeper and deeper into it. But yeah, I mean, I've found myself doing that a lot here lately, and it's cool that ESPN has been playing some old games and stuff too. You can kind of watch them that way as well. But yeah, definitely doing a lot of that here lately.
Yeah, NBA TV has been all over that classic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the classic game. I'm looking forward to you know, The Last Dance coming out. I know that's in like a couple of weeks, so I can't wait to take that in.
And you know, Richard Jefferson is taking credit for pushing that. Like, he's completely confused himself.
RJ takes credit for a lot of stuff.
He does. RJ thinks he somehow dubbed all of the nicknames. Joey Buckets. Which is the one that you enjoy? Is there one particular nickname?
I mean, all my teammates call me Buckets. That's probably the one I would go off. Yeah. I don't know how RJ tried to get the beef jerky Joe to stick, but that just didn't have any lasting power.
I wasn't riding with it. Like
no, I appreciate you coming into my defense on that.
I did defend you on that on the Nets podcast. How much back and forth do you have right now? How much contact do you have with your teammates? Is there a big group chat with your teammates?
Yeah, no, we have a group chat that we've had since the beginning of the year. Everybody's active on it over the course of the season, but especially now, obviously, with all this downtime. Today, shout out to my guy Spencer Dinwiddie. It's Spencer's birthday today, and everybody's giving him a lot of grief on the thread this morning. But everybody's extremely active on it, just kind of keeping tabs and making sure everybody's good.
As a rookie, Cleveland Cavaliers, you were teammates with LeBron. As you look at him now, does it amaze you at the level that he is still maintained? Yeah,
I mean, for him to be playing at an MVP level, MVP caliber, from basically the moment that he's gotten into the NBA to now 17 seasons, or how many seasons has he played? You should fact check me on that. So however long he's been playing, I mean, it's incredible. But I think being around him, I'm not surprised because I've never seen someone or had a teammate in the NBA that took better care of their body than he did. I learned a lot, obviously, on the court by watching him, but more importantly, off of the court, and the level of, attention to detail, his professionalism, his approach that he took to making sure that his body was as close to 100% for every single game.
For you as a shooter, that was what you came into the league, but I feel like every year with the Nets, you have made a conscious effort to add something to your game, to polish certain skills, and to become a better all-around player. Was that something that you decided somewhere in year 4, year 5? I got to keep adding some things to keep people up and to make myself more valuable.
Yeah, I think, I look back to my first season with the Nets. I didn't really attack the rim that frequently. I mostly was primarily just a spot up 3-point shooter. And I think, just every offseason I've tried to add a different layer to my game that has helped me become more of an all-around player. And it's something super drastic. I know that, I have pretty good self-awareness as to who I am as a player. And, I know the fact that I'm not going to be breaking people down off the dribble. I'm not going to be, trying to go in isolation situations and play one-on-one. But, there are different wrinkles to it. I think I've improved a lot in terms of finishing at the rim, trying to make better decisions when you put the ball on the deck, when guys run you off of the line. But it's all little things like that. I've just tried to incorporate a lot more sort of read and react sort of scenarios and improve that way. And then just, making sure that you're solid in other areas of the game, rebounding, defensively. You just don't want to be a liability at all. You want to do stuff where the coach has to keep you out on the floor, where you're helping the team win.
Are there any particular defense you find exceptionally tough? Because you work always on the move, and there are certain guys that figure out a way to break through double screens, to get out over the top. Anyone that you really and say, wow, this guy at an elite level defensively.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's more teams and the defensive scheme. I think of teams like Toronto, Indiana. Those are always tough teams to go against just because they're always so locked in defensively. Against Toronto, somebody like Kyle Lowry might be guarding me a lot of the game, but there's a lot of guys that could end up matching up on you, and they're just tough. They take stuff away. They're kind of always there. They're not really out of position a lot of times. And I think, versus just like any one particular person, I think it's more looking at the teams and who's the most disciplined defensively. And I think about teams like the Torontos, the Milwaukee, and Indiana. I mean, primarily because we play against them a lot in the East, but those are the teams that I think about.
World Basketball Championships, USA. You said it really was an incredible experience for you. Looking back on it now, playing with rivals that became teammates, was that, you had a bunch of Boston Celtics on the team. How did that sit itself when you joined?
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience. It's one of those things where it's a lot of guys that you've been playing against for a while that you sort of, know, but more it's just like in passing and then guys that you play against. And then for you to have opportunities to, spend a lot of really, quality time together and actually get a bond off of the court, get to know guys really well. That was sort of the highlight of the whole experience for me. Even the coaches too, guys that you played against but don't particularly know that well. It's just one of those things where, we were in Australia, in China. We were on the road essentially for 40 plus days together, and you can't help but get to know each other really well. And it's one of those things where now all those guys that you were with, those relationships that are, those are great friendships that are going to last, forever, long after we're done playing ball.
What about just wearing Team USA on your chest?
Yeah, that was, always a dream of mine growing up, and, to have the opportunity, I was extremely honored and just grateful. And it's something that, I'll remember for a long time, and I certainly, didn't take for granted. And, yeah, it was one of those experiences that I'll remember for a long time.
As one of the premier shooters in the NBA, are there arenas that you go to, you walk in the door, you go, I got this. I always shoot well here. Whatever it is, sight lines, lighting. Do you ever feel that with certain venues?
Yeah, there are some venues that I think, are a little bit more keen to shooters. I've always liked shooting in sort of the arenas that have like the theater lighting, a little bit darker background around. Madison Square Garden has that, Staples Center has it, and then I'm lucky too, the Barclays Center has it. So I'm biased. Obviously, I love shooting in the Barclays. I shoot in there more frequently than anywhere else, but I do like just like the lighting that they have in the backdrop.
All right. For you, social media is not a big part of your life.
Yep.
Me, social media is not a big part of my life. Yet somehow we meet.
I know. On Instagram Live, they had to show me how to get on here.
Show me. I was just hoping that you would pop up somewhere on the screen.
Do you have an Instagram account?
I do not.
Yeah.
I do.
So how the heck do you even get on? Are you just on the NBA's account?
I don't know. You do, but I don't feel like you're involved in it.
No, I'm not. I hate to say it. I guess I'm on Instagram right now, but yeah, my sister actually runs my account for me, so I don't really get on there a lot.
She's doing a good job. Do you even know?
I don't know. I mean, my buddies like to mess with her a little bit about her running the account. But yeah, I'm not that worried about it. I don't care too much.
You think about the future? For you, obviously, it's been a great run with Brooklyn, and for Nets fans, is that you're going to be there for the rest of your career. Do you allow yourself to go there, the here and now?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about a lot of that, to be honest. There's so much going on right now where there's just, so much uncertainty already going on that I'm not going to add that, to the plate. In the ideal world, I would play, my whole career in Brooklyn. I came in with Sean, even the ownership. It's just one of those things where you have a close connection with a lot of people that are within the organization. You kind of all came in together, and I've been here now for 4 years and built unbelievable relationships with everybody a part of the organization. And it's kind of, it's amazing just to see where we've gone from year one to now. And I obviously want to be a part of that and a part of it for a long time.
You want to get a Virginia pop in here before we go?
What's that?
Virginia? You want to get the Virginia pop out of the way? Because that's often
we are the longest tenured national champs at this point. So, we're going to carry this over for one more year. Coach Bennett was texting with me this morning and sent me a little video from the championship run last year. So pretty awesome that, I was able to be there for that. And then, that they get to kind of carry it on even a little bit longer. And I think, they had a great team this year too. I was looking forward to the tournament. It's unfortunate that, everything unfolded the way that it did. But, I think as long as Coach Bennett is in Virginia, they're going to have unbelievable teams. So love just being a fan right now and rooting everybody on.
I feel like during that run last year, building and it was becoming more potential reality for you. You weren't even on the team and you were feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, I think because everybody's played for Coach Bennett or been a part of the Virginia program, you know, it is such like a brotherhood and a family where, you know, even though I haven't played with any of those guys, I still just, my sense of attachment is so strong with them, with the program, that I feel like I'm a part of it still. And, you know, I hurt for those guys the year before when they had the unfortunate loss. And then I was as happy as I think I've ever been at a basketball game last year when they won it.
All right, Joe, stay safe more than anything. It's great to see you. Get on the
Fine.
get the shooting form ready.
I'll do what I can, man. It was good chatting with you.
Good, Joe.
All right, I'll see you, man.
Great seeing you. Please stay safe out there, maintain social distancing, and
Yep.
road Instagram Live, man. This is a piece of cake.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to run it back at some point, you let me know.
Done deal. We're gonna
But definitely, everybody stay safe out there. Crazy times, social distance.
be well, bud.
I'll see you.